My name's Paul Farley and I'm a writer and sometimes a poet. We might think of poetry as somebody else's business, something that happens out of earshot of the everyday, but we tune into it in early life, I think, and often turn to it during times of celebration or loss. With our project, Places of Poetry, we gave people across England and Wales a chance to reflect on the places that are important to them. Using a virtual map that poems could be pinned to, we wanted to make a space where people could articulate their connections to place and to heritage, or locate their sense of belonging and change.
Last Thursday my thirst bettered me and I drank the Stroudwater Canal, all 8 miles of it down in one long swallow. My name is JLM Morton and I come from Stroud in Gloucestershire. I went to school here, I was raised here, and then I moved away, and I went away for about 20 years. It used to be that home was wherever I put my toothbrush or, had my bag on the floor, but now it's really changed actually. I have put roots down. This is now my home. My stomach founded on trade cloth, the theft of New World skin and bone. Poetry is kind of perfect. It's found a way to fit into the cracks of my life as a mother and as somebody who works as well. Often places present you with poems. The words will come, the phrase will come, an image, and I'll have to put it down on the page. I choked on brick at Nutshell Bridge, tasted coal, lung tonic. The dust of widowmakers settled in the gunnel of a Severn Trow. I like writing about those places that are out of the way. So that's why I was really interested about writing about the canal. It is a space on the edge, a place that has been quite dilapidated, and it's been interesting writing about it in kind of a way that reclaims the place as somewhere that you want to belong and associate with. Also, the idea that you're one of many poets' voices coming together and speaking about our country as it is now is a really exciting thing to be involved in. I really like that idea of being involved in a community of people who are talking about where they live. All my depth perception's gone. I've let the flock go to my head. Yet how is it I keep thirsting like the navigation's dead?
It's been wonderful watching the map fill up with thousands of poems and taking on a life of its own. We always wanted the map to be polyvocal, and the range of voices who've been inspired to write has delighted us. The quality of work has been high, and people have clearly used poetry as a way to engage with different kinds of places in all kinds of unexpected ways. They describe, evoke, celebrate, lament, capture change, or dive deep into the history of a place.
Swordfish, just in earshot, above the hush, now shush of traffic, all the rumours of a city, fully awake, but not. My name is Richard Williams and I'm from Portsmouth. I used to run marathons. I used to train by running around the perimeter of Portsmouth, which is 16 miles. And so I would see lots of places that I would think could turn into a poem. I like the discipline of turning something complex into 12 lines. Swordfish, pebbles kiss, swordfish, swordfish. When you read a book about an event, it's quite complex, it's quite a lot of detail, a lot of data, but actually you lose a lot of the emotion. And what poetry does is bring some of that back in. Hopefully people that read Swordfish will read up on what happened to Swordfish, read up on what happened to other boats of the Royal Navy Submarine Corps. November 1940, a blue-grey, steel-grey sky. She is still waiting. A poem can change you because you can read out of the poem what you want to read out of a poem. A poem is not fixed, and some people will interpret a poem into their own personal life and issues they're facing and understand that they're not alone. From a writing perspective, just the experience of actually sitting down in quiet, in peace, distilling that emotion into a few words can be quite cathartic and can really help with your personal well-being. Washing away 40 years silt in a brine-filled blink.
One element I've been particularly thrilled by is the engagement with the everyday, this idea that poetry might hang out close to home, that you might not have to travel very far in order to find it. Most of us live in or near cities, and we might think that poetry's place lies beyond the city limits, in the countryside. But the poems posted on the map explore the rural and the urban and the mysterious zone in between, and reflect on how varied our landscapes actually are. Heritage can mean many things, and people clearly have strong connections to different kinds of landscape, which broadens our sense of what a landscape can be.
Anfield is my Haworth, where highway, not Heathcliff, thrilled my soul. Anfield is my heartland, whose daffodils are red flowers, who blossom and bloom with passionate discourse across the pitch. My name's Sharon Jones and I'm a football poet who writes about football. Football is about passion, it's about emotion, it's about all of the things that we experience in life, and that is poetry too. Dylan Thomas contemplates under Milt Wood. I gaze on the miracles of Shankly. From his hands poured the glory that would be no wasteland and no anthem for doomed youth. Stadiums are very much like cathedrals in that fans are there who are described as the faithful, the dedicated, the committed, and these are also places where we sing our hymns, our songs, our chants. We have our disciples out on the pitch that we follow, and it's where we commune with people of the past and find them again. Anfield, my landscape of clashing boots, my corner of forever Liverpool, the labyrinths of pass and move and the crowd who gather in songs and dreams. The relationship between me and football poetry is a lot of it about my father, who brought me to Anfield when I was a child back in 1970. This is where his spirit is, this is where we connect, this is where we say all the things that we didn't get to say while he was alive. I wasn't going to find his spirit in a churchyard or a graveyard. My father is Liverpool Football Club for me and always will be. And if I am now exile and rootless, then I still know the road home. It's rivers of rhythms, well known, where life flows on within me, and I meet with my father again each Anfield Saturday afternoon.
Places of Poetry has given us an archive of the imagination, but it's done so much more than that. We entered into it in a spirit of experiment, not knowing if anybody would turn up to the party, but have ended up with a project that affirms how poetry, people and place form a really powerful dynamic. The poet Wallace Stevens once suggested that we don't live in places, we live in descriptions of places, which means the deeper we engage, the richer our stories and experiences become. I think our poets, at all points across the map, are telling us this again and again.